like a bullet train.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Genford and I'm here to do a quick review of the new Battlefield 1 trailer that just came out yesterday. Now, there's a lot of people already doing reviews of the trailer, looking for small Easter eggs or stuff in the trailer that'll tell us something about the game. And me myself, I have already been through the trailer like 7 or 8 times, and I've been going forwards and backwards and pausing and looking at all the frames, trying to figure out what's going on. And I think I found a couple of things that people haven't noticed yet. So hopefully I can do a small review, tell you guys what I found, show you the proof of what I found. I actually found some locations that they haven't talked about, some vehicles, some weapons, as well as some gadget that might be used in the game. Now everything is just speculations, and of course there's somebody who will always be looking at the small print and saying, you're not right about this, or you could have found something else. So there's a lot of stuff in the trailer that we do know for a fact because it's already been already been told. But a lot of the stuff in the trailer, you have to know something about World War One, otherwise you don't understand the contents of it. And since I'm from Scandinavia and Europe, and I'm from Denmark, I know a couple of the places that's actually being used in the trailer, and some of the stuff that's not been told yet. So I might actually be able to give you my point of view of what I do believe is going to be in the game, in the final game. So without no further ado, let's go through the trailer. Okay, so one of the first places I want to freeze is right here, and it's not because of the soldier or what he's holding in his hand. We already been through this a bunch of times on other channels. We know it's a club of some sort with spikes on it. No, I want to direct your attention to the background where you can see a balloon hanging in the sky. And some people have said that this is an observation balloon, which it's clearly not. It's a barrage balloon, and just to make my point more clear, here's the picture of what an observation balloon looks like. And as you can see, it's actually being dragged by a Zeppelin, so the Zeppelin will be above the clouds, so it won't be shut down because they're very slow and they can take small arms fire and they can actually blow up. So therefore they have to have the cloud cover, and because of the cloud cover they weren't able to hit targets, so they have to have a balloon underneath that they'll drag under the clouds so he can spot and tell the guys when to drop bombs or shoot at the ground. So that's the first thing I wanted to notice, and then there's a couple more things about the Zeppelin. We'll get to that later on, but that's the first thing I noticed in this video. So the second thing I noticed is this part of the video where we see the horses for the first time. First of all, it's pretty cool there's going to be horses in Battlefield for the first time ever. And I believe it's either going to be a special part of the game where we'll play it in single player and campaign, or it's going to be kind of like the dirt bikes from Battlefield 4. It's going to be a vehicle that we choose to use just to get from point A to B, and other than that it's not going to be very strong, or it's gonna be able to just carry 2 persons maybe riding into battle. And we do know from the Lawrence of Arabia special bonus order that we'll get a special knife, an emblem, and also a Lee Enfield rifle. So we don't really see anywhere where it says that a sable should be one of the weapons that this horseman gets. But later on in the video we see a couple of horsemen charging into battle, and with them we see they all have sables down the side of the horse. And also one of the special things that you get when you get the pre-order is you get a custom horse color. If you want to, it's gonna be the black Stallion color for your horse, and there's actually a black Stallion in that part of the video, so that might actually be the black Stallion that we'll get if you pre-order. The reason why I freeze the frame right here is because I want you to notice the color of his emblem that he has on his shoulder, and it's a gold diamond shape, and I believe this is one of the 2 factions in the game. Later on you'll see that the allies are wearing what looks like a red tee. Part of the video we see what I believe is the allies or the enemy's AA gun shooting down a plane that's chasing one of the allies over the home base. And if you look right here down in the left hand corner, you'll see a small camouflage net over some entrenchment, which is probably an AA gun. So this might actually be what we had in Battlefield 4 with the the AA gun shooting down enemy planes coming over base. And this might actually be World War One version of that part. We see a beautiful plane crashing into a windmill, and right here down in the right hand corner we see what I believe is the first officer of the game, and this is actually a German officer. And the reason that I know that this is a German officer is the color of his uniform. First of all, is the gray color of the uniform, and secondly, you see the red hat and also the red stripe that goes down his uniform. That's a classic German uniform, and I'll actually show you here. You have two examples of German uniform, and just to compare it, here's the British officer, where you can see he has the red stripe on his hat, but his uniform doesn't have the same coloring. It's a more greenish color, and it doesn't have the red stripe going down. So this is probably the first officer we've seen the video, and it's a German officer. This is the first time we actually see the inside of a Mark IV, and we see him with the crank handle, and he's actually putting it into gear so the tank can drive. And the video that I have a link to here is just a small part of the video where you actually see the autonomy of the Mark IV tank, the British tank, and it's just tells you a little bit about what the tank is and how it works and what it looks like. And it actually took 8 people to drive the tank, so when the developer says that the whole team can be in the tank, they're probably right. You probably need that many people to drive this tank. Now, a couple of things that I want you to notice here is, first of all, the plane is actually not shooting these people, and the explosion is not from the plane, so an outside source is actually making whatever explosion there is. And also, if you notice, the horse is actually riding next to the train tracks, so the train and this aerial battle horse charge here is on the same map, which is probably somewhere in the Arabian Peninsula or something like that. And also, if you notice, the guy on the right hand side, you can see has the same gold diamond as earlier, so these horsemen is actually from the Axis part, which makes sense when you look at the plane. It's a British plane. And also the last horse you see here is the black horse, which is part of the customization you get with the pre-order. You get the black stallion, the Arabic black stallion, so this might actually be the first sight that we get from it. Also, you see that one of the guy has a sable over his head in the charge, and the other guys has their sable next to them on the side of the horse, so that might actually be something that's a part of the horse when you choose it. Now, this chase scene, I don't think anybody actually noticed it yet, but this is actually a hallway of the Versailles Palace in Paris. And the reason I know that this is actually the place that this is being shot, or this is supposed to look like, is because of the floor, the statues, and also the glass door he's running to, and the windows on the left hand side. Now, this picture obviously is taken from the wrong direction, so you're actually looking opposite of where he's running. So, but this is clearly the same hallway, so I guess we could speculate that he is a spy of some sort, and he's being shot at by the Germans, I guess, because the French would never shoot up their own places to try to catch a spy. So I'll take that as almost confirmed that this is some sort of a spy running through the Versailles being chased by Germans. The main reason I wanted to freeze the frame here is because we see the mustard gas and we see him take on the gas mask, and it looks awesome the way that his view is obstructed and you can't really look straight ahead of you, and with the smoke and the gas you probably won't be able to see that much, and that's pretty cool. That makes it more intense, and I hope that they'll keep it that way, that don't make it so it just a gimmick. You put it on and then you see it normally. So I really hope this is where DICE like shines through and says like this is how it's supposed to be. Now look closely at the handle that this guy is holding. Doesn't it look a lot like this handle? And this is the handle of the Lewis light machine gun, which we know has been used in the game before. We see it on the plane, and we see it later on as a guy shoots it, the guy with the gas mask. And I'm pretty sure that the guy in like the knight or whatever we call him, he's using this rifle just because of that handle. And the armor itself is not a big thing, because we know for a fact that they had armor in World War One, and a lot of people have found pictures and evidence of this armor, so that's not anything new. And you can Google it yourself. I'll promise I'll put down some links underneath. You can take a look for yourself. And also check out the video of this guy. He actually has some cool videos with some of the weapons we actually see in this game. Now these guys has the same golden diamond as before, so they're clearly Axis. And also the guy in the background is using this flamethrower, so again this is all Axis doing a charge and being shut down. Maybe, just maybe, this is air superiority in World War One. Couple of things to notice while this video runs in the background, which shows two of the tanks that will be in the game, is that that horse graphic that you see on the side of the tank is actually the same as the emblem you get with the pre-order, which is the red charging British brigade, something like that. And also this tank is the same tank that you see driving over the trench. If you look at the numbering on the side of it, you'll see it later on in the video, you actually see the same exact tank driving over the trenches. Now first things first, there you see the British officer with his saucepans, and then second, you see this tank right there, you see the exact same number. Now this boat here, I believe is this boat, and it's the same, and it's called the USS Texas. And it's a boat that saw service for the United States during World War One, and it was in battle, and it was battling against U-boats. So just on the basis of this, I believe that there will be U-boats, but I have some other evidence that might be telling us that there's gonna be U-boats in this game, and also that one of the places that the Navy battles will be is a place that was called the Battle of Jutland, which is actually the coast of Denmark. Now the evidence of my claims are these. These two pictures are of ships that is using the camo called Daisel. And that's actually going to be part of the game, because if you look at the pre-order, that is one of the things you'll get is the camo for the battle cruiser we just saw, which is called Daisel. And it was used to make it more difficult for U-boats to actually find out where you were going and at what speed, so they couldn't take you out. This also makes it more likely that there will be U-boats in the game, and also one of these pictures is actually a carrier from World War One. I'm sure that they did it on purpose, removing the insignia of the wing, but I'm pretty sure that this is the same plane. If you look at the tail section, you can see it has the same angle, and also you can see the metal struts that's actually holding them up, so I'm pretty sure this is the same plane. Now a lot of people look at this image and they notice the rifle, which is interesting in itself, but I'm more interested in the explosion. I believe what we see in the explosion is more important than the rifle, and I believe this is the last tank that is unlockable in the game, which is the French Renault tank. And as you can see here, and if you look closely right above the scope, you can actually see what looks like the turret of the tank. And I believe this is actually the French tank being blown up. So what do you think? You think it's the same tank? I believe this is the last tank of the game. Now nobody has actually talked about this, but I definitely see a hand right there, and I believe that hand is actually doing the animation of a rocket launcher, this rocket launcher, which was invented at the last part of World War One. And where is he standing? I believe he's standing on top of a blimp, and maybe he's standing inside one of these. As one of the last things I want to talk about in this video, I want to talk about this guy, and who I think he might be. Because if you look at this picture and you look at this guy, they kind of look the same, and the guy on the left is actually the real Red Baron. So could this actually be the Red Baron looking up at an airship for the first time, thinking, what has happened to this war? That's just my guess. And as a little extra thing, since it's World War One and we love Easter eggs, I actually have what might be an Easter egg in the game, and when it comes out, people should start looking for it. I'm talking to you, Jack Frax. The Christmas siege of 1914 between Germans and Allies, where they got out of their trenches and played football. Maybe on some map somewhere there'll be a little Christmas tree, there might be a football, we might be able to hear them singing Christmas songs. Just keep your eyes and ears open for whenever this game comes out, because I believe that that might actually be an Easter egg in the game. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you learned something new, found it interesting, please hit the like button, subscribe if you want to hear more, and I'll see you next time.